Desideratum, by the band who I think has the most fun name to say, and that's Anaal Nathrakh. Quick trivia. Anaal Nathrakh is actually the charm of making from the 1981 film Excalibur, which is based off of the old tales of King Arthur and his court. Pretty interesting fact, considering I didn't fucking know that. And it's interesting, considering it's a charm of making, so you can essentially manifest with it whatever you want. And that's actually kind of a fitting metaphor for Anaal Nathrakh's music. Their music has been one that's been able to sort of evolve throughout the course of their albums, but as of recent, I would say as of their past 4 or 5, they've really been a band that's been very dedicated to this real cluster bomb of different styles. Ones that's able to incorporate a lot of grindcore elements to go along with some, some black metal, maybe even some death metal, all depending on who you ask. But then also incorporating some industrial elements. It's something that kind of just fused itself in kind of lightly and maybe even half-heartedly in the past, but with this album it's definitely something that seems to be becoming a little bit more of a forefront idea for their sound, something that really kind of glues it together into one cohesive what the fuck, element or idea. So this is a band that if you are familiar with them, you know what to expect. You know to expect absolute insanity. You know to expect chaos. You know to expect an album that is just going to assault you orally with sounds aplenty. Galore, everywhere. Solos, hard drums, thumping bass, and some of the strangest vocals that you will probably find. Everything that you would expect from something that's grindcore, black death, industrial metal. Blah. That's a mouthful. So, we have something that we may actually be able to say about this album, but I'm reserving that for a little bit later. But I'm telling you, you're going to want to stick around for it because it's very, very critical to this review. The flow on this album is exquisite. I'm just going to throw that out there right away. It's exquisite. It's exquisite how any band could be able to, take this kind of chaos and make the whole thing feel seamless. To make the whole thing feel like from track to track, you are not feeling really off-put, disjointed, or just completely off, thrown off your base. This is instead one that just keeps the pulse really right there on the vein. It keeps the finger on the trigger. It keeps the accelerator plunged down with the foot. And damn, that's something that really just doesn't give you any room to breathe. It doesn't give you any option to really maybe look around, take a sip of maybe some coffee or some gin, or decide that you want to maybe go get a snack, because you're not going to be able to. It's not going to give you that option. It grips you with its sinister snare. It's almost as though you've walked into a bear trap of sound and you're trapped there. And essentially there's nobody there that's going to come to save you. Instead, you're just there waiting for the bear, the wolves, and anybody else or anything else to come and destroy you, to come rip you limb from limb. Because that's what this album essentially does. It rips you limb from limb. Musically speaking, we mentioned something with the previous review, or with a previous review, for a much more trendy band, perhaps, than Anaal Nathrakh, and that's the Black Veil Brides, about the nasaliness of vocals. Of this generation, of course, more so prevalent than the past. I feel like my point's been proven with this album here, considering the grindcore, black metal, whatever vocals that you want to call them. The harsh vocals are definitely very harsh, but they seem like they're mired a little bit back in the mix. It's definitely one that feels very musically centered, almost as though you're supposed to be swirling around the chaos, and the voice that you hear is almost like an outcry. It's almost like the insane thoughts, the insane misanthropy of a madman who is, maybe trapped in a literal version of hell. Either that or is just, going batshit crazy inside of a psych ward. But whenever you hear the clean vocals, it's once again one that seems to rise from the belly. It's one that definitely has more of a projection to it. Even though it is still, a little bit softer in the mix than the music, it's still one that resonates with a deepness that really, really provides a very nice atmosphere. It's a nice atmospheric shift, and it's something where the music in the background does not have to shift to actually, to actually comfort it and make it make sense. This is music that makes sense with both styles of vocals. I don't know how this band has been able to find a sound that is so beautifully and perfectly tailored to these alien vocals and these clean vocals that somehow merge together to create really a strange, off-putting harmony that just sounds so well constructed. It's almost as though they got the world's smallest jigsaw puzzle. A puzzle that's only, 4 minutes long that has 15,000 pieces. And they've constructed it on every track of this album. For 40 minutes, everything feels beautifully and perfectly constructed with only a very, very few number of pieces missing. So whenever you consider the number of tracks on this album, the number of pieces get to close to, I would say, 200,000. It's a lot of fucking pieces. It's crazy. We have a guest as well on one of these songs, one of the latter portions of this album. I think it's called Rage in Red. It is the vocalist from Shining, who's batshit fucking nuts in his own regard. But it actually continues with the chaotic theme. He works on this album. It works perfectly because whenever you consider what Anaal Nathrakh's music is all about, the chaos, the dissonance, the off-putting environment, the fact that this is just swirling industrial insanity that goes along with the death metal, the grindcore, blah, 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 he kind of fits right in. It's something that's in theory he fits right in, but then whenever you hear it, you're like, well, I'm not surprised. This makes fucking sense. He's able to sound just like he's getting ripped from the inside out, and this is the vocalization of said principle, and it's a beautiful one. So now we get to that portion that I told you to stick around for, aside from all of the gore splattered and fun that we just had with all of those metaphors and talking about some of the music. This may be Anaal Nathrakh's best album. I'm just going to throw that out there. For me, it is. For me, I really find this to be their best work. This is one that really encompasses everything that they're about the best. And it does so by also adding in more of that industrial element. It actually throws that in more than they have on works in the past. Almost as though they're seeping that into their sound just little by little, increasing the amount just to kind of see where it goes. It's a nice experiment. It's a nice idea. And it's something that right now is being used so sparingly that it fits the composition incredibly. I think of an old band. My gosh, this is going to be... Someone's going to kill me if I get this wrong, but I'm thinking of an old band, And Oceans, that kind of did a similar idea. Maybe not so as much, but I think about how they're able to merge some industrial element in there. And it fits. And it made sense. And there's a strange connection there, considering they had a song called Vitriol, and there's a member of Anaal Nathrakh who is passionately known as Vitriol. This album is a serious contender. This is a heavyweight. This is a stalwart. This kicks you right in the stomach, then kicks you square in the forehead, and then whenever you're down on the ground, wondering what the fuck just happened, it kicks you in the nuts, it turns you around and kicks you in the ass, and then it removes its shoe and sticks it up your ass. And here's the fucked up part about it. You're wondering what the hell just happened. You're wondering what just occurred. But every single blow you enjoy more than the last one, like some sort of sick sadist. That's what this album is. It's almost like being a sick sadist, taking all sorts of punishment and begging and thanking the abuser. Whew. 91 out of 100. Not ashamed to say that. Terrific album. Tremendous atmosphere, very focused but yet chaotic sounding ridiculosity, luscious flow, tremendous transformation from clean to dirty, destructive vocals, with of course the focus on the destructive. What did you think about this disc? I have nothing more to say. I have said all that I need to say. What did you think? Tell me in the comments. Someone please. Someone please tell these guys thank you on my behalf by sharing this to them. Bravo. That's all I got.